As much as we don't shy away from talking about the largest luxury brands in the industry on this channel, I firmly believe what makes ultimately watches so special is the variety of choice you have to pick out watches for your collection. Now, in that theme, today we're gonna be looking at 4 relatively attainable Swiss watch brands that I feel don't get as much attention as they deserve. What we're going to be focusing on specifically are watches that have prices that start under $1,000 for many of these brands. Some of them will get into the thousands of dollars, but watches that are, I would say, if you really wanted to afford one, relatively attainable by comparison to some of the larger brands in the industry. And to be qualified to be on this list, they have to have something that they're bringing to the table that is a little bit different. So in other words, we're gonna be looking at brands that have distinct capabilities, history, and/or pieces that are disproportionately overlooked by many within the watch buying public. To kick off this video, we begin with an independent brand that is known for its authentic military watch history and recognizable design style: Marathon. The earliest roots of Marathon date back to 1904, being founded by European immigrants that settled in New York, first operating under the name Wainstrom Watch. In the 1920s, the Wayne family, who maintain ownership to this day, moved the operation to Montreal, Canada. It was not until 1939 where we saw the name of the brand shift to what we know them as today, the Marathon Watch Company. Marathon rose to prominence during World War II when they famously supplied watches to Canadian and US troops during the wartime effort in 1941. This was the inflection point for the company, with Marathon now being widely known for its myriad of military timepieces, and to this day being operated by the Wayne family, with Mitchell Wayne, the grandson of Morris Wayne, the founder, currently residing as president. The current designs uphold uniform principles, including the use of high contrast dials deeply seated into their cases, which is pretty unorthodox when you look at them, and then being one of the few brands in the industry to use tritium gas tubes for illumination. For years, Marathon would produce their watches in Canada, but since the 1990s, they've split their enterprise into 2 primary points, with the day-to-day business operations happening in Canada, while its watch production happens in La Chaux-de-Fonds in Switzerland, with each watch being assembled and tested to adhere to precise military standards. Among Marathon's lineup includes the general purpose field watches, which serve as the closest remnant of the pieces developed for the Allied forces during World War II, being available in a variety of cases. Back in 1986, Kelly Air Force Base in San Antonio called for a dependable and straightforward timepiece for its pilots and navigators. Given the aviation use case, the watches also had to be low pressure resistant and also be able to maintain the variance in temperature that will happen in flight, while also being topped off with a bidirectional 12-hour bezel for international timing or UTC needs. The final result of these requests came to be known as the Marathon Navigators, issued in large numbers to both the Navy and Air Force. The first series of Navigator watches were housed in a steel case before Marathon made the jump to the lighter weight fiber shell in the early 1990s. Now, the current collection is going to offer up different case materials, with stainless steel recently returning, with a choice of a high accuracy quartz Editorial with plus or minus 10 seconds a year in accuracy, or the Solida-powered mechanical options. And finally, what many will classify as the brand's icon, the Marathon Government Search and Rescue, also known as the GSAR, initially being released back in 2001. The GSAR, having been designed by the use of RCAF search and rescue technicians, has become the robust diver framework that has been a bestseller for the brand for years, upholding all the classic principles of Marathon style while maintaining its tactical looks that many have come to love. The GSAR range includes black PVD cases, you have the white dial Arctics, a chronograph option, and different spin-offs known as the TSAR with its quartz-powered calibers. So before we look at our next brand, say you have not shopped for the holiday season yet, you're doing some last minute shopping for someone in your life, or maybe doing it for yourself, we don't judge here, check out teddyballastar.com. We have a variety of things going on right now. One, multiple promotions. Check out our promotions page. I'll put that in the description. Also, we have a couple different collections. So if you are pressed for time, trying to get something under the tree this holiday season, and you wanna make sure it can get there, we have a few collections that will specify with expedited shipping included with purchase. Just hit the link down below. We'll also have some details for that if you're looking for a last minute gift for yourself or somebody else that is special in your life. So the legend of the Swiss Army knife has become a product so well known, it has become an idiom of everyday vernacular here in the United States, referring to a person or thing that is adaptable to a variety of situations. Now, to reach that level of product awareness takes a long time. Specifically for the Swiss brand Victorinox, they have been producing the iconic Swiss Army knife since 1891. Given the attention directed towards the product, many either forget or fail to realize that Victorinox makes some pretty cool watches that fit the theme of the multifunctional knife that allowed the brand to reach an international spotlight. Wristwatches bearing the Swiss Army name were part of an effort from the company to diversify its product mix starting in 1989, and through clever ad campaigns extolling their precision and legendary durability, the original Swiss Army watch with its distinctive red bezel and 100 meters of water resistance was a massive hit throughout the 1990s and beyond. Customers really liked this casual field watch style, and the Swiss Army was a smash among outdoor enthusiasts and those who just wanted something maybe a little bit more different and durable compared to their favorite swatch in their collection. Despite maybe not getting as much attention as other brands, Victorinox has upped the game in the watchmaking department, further leaning into the tool theme that has permeated more broadly across the brand for decades. One of the best examples of this came in 2014 with the launch of the sturdy Inox or Inox series. Surviving a series of torture tests that included getting run over by a tank, and yes, I am serious, the Inox acronym was a clever take on Victorinox's name, reportedly standing for Impact Neutralizing Object for Extremes. Going with an acronym, probably a better choice than spitting that out every single time. Whatever the name's origin story, suffice it to say that these anything-proof watches have been a hit among fans of the outdoors and extreme sports. Their hexagonal bezels resemble nothing more than a massive bolt, with these pieces having both mechanical and quartz offerings. Today, the Victorinox lineup is bigger than ever and includes the Quartz Swiss Army Heritage and Field Force models that are the spiritual successors to those original watches from the early 1990s, with these watches starting around the $400 range. The Inox family tree has grown by leaps and bounds, with three-hand quartz models starting around $600, with there also now being chronograph models to go along with it. The Quartz Inox Carbon brings the durable, lightweight material to the line starting at around $900, sporting a unique strap made from survival paracord. Automatic versions are available too, starting at that $1,100 mark. The newly released Inox Dive Pro series delivers ISO 6425 compliance, has water resistance up to 300 meters, and is available in matte steel or titanium, as well as having quartz or automatic movements. Prices range from $800 for the Dive Pro quartz in steel to $1,500 for the automatic in titanium. Despite only being founded in 1988, Frederique Constant has proved to be one of the most innovative watchmakers out there in a relatively short period of time, now falling underneath the larger structure of the Citizen Watch Group. Case in point, despite being around for less than 4 decades, the brand has quickly made up for lost time, releasing more than 30 separate movement calibers in that period. They've also become known for their movement innovations and elevated level of finish, done at a standard that you're typically not going to see until you start to spend multiples of the asking price. One of their biggest innovations is their manufacturer's slimline monolithic, and its movement, the caliber FC810, boasting several technical breakthroughs. It uses an etched silicon oscillator which vibrates 10 times faster than a traditional 4 Hz movement. In other words, it has a frequency of 288,000 vibrations per hour, or 40 Hz. Despite the ultra high frequency, the FC810 still maintains a rather incredible reserve of 80 hours, resulting from the lighter weight components of that escapement, reducing the power consumption. The oscillator silicon construction is also resistant to magnetic fields and will not have the same concerns regarding friction like metallic components. And all of this is going to be packed in a watch that has a retail price starting under $5,000. And that's not Frederique Constant's only compelling choice. Their manufactured classic world timer is something that I typically bring up time and time again. It renders a high-end complication for under $5,000, and the whole show is operated by a single crown, with no added pushers needed to set any of the world timing functions. The brand also has a flyback chronograph at a similar price, and even a perpetual calendar complication can be had starting under $10,000, making it one of the most attainable Swiss-made perpetuals currently on the market. What is also especially nice about FC is that they do have some offerings in that $1,000 to $2,000 range. Sure, these pieces might not be the most boundary pushing in the area of design or mechanical prowess, they are nevertheless sensible and stylish looking pieces. The entry door for the brand comes in with the $1,200 Classic Index, made available in different dial colors, fusing traditional and contemporary traits into the design. As you begin to get closer to $2,000, that's where you see watches like the Classics Premier, which elevates the formula of the Classics Index with a guilloche patterned center dial, incorporates Breguet-style hands, and are powered by a fellow Citizen Watch Group movement from La Joux-Perret, which delivers 68 hours of power reserve. Frederique Constant does have a propensity to favor more dress-oriented pieces, although for those looking for something maybe with some more sports upside, you do have the brand's answer to the integrated genre with the High Life. These come equipped with a stellar bracelet, a variety of color options, 100 meters of water resistance, and a COSC certified movement with the 3-hand versions, with higher complications coming into the fold as you increase in price. And for the final brand on the list, we have another relative newcomer by Swiss watchmaking standards, Raymond Weil, which got its start back in 1976 during one of the most tumultuous times in Swiss watchmaking. Created by its namesake founder, Raymond Weil, the brand was developed on the principles of delivering well-made Swiss timepieces for their price, which aimed to follow classical elements of watchmaking design. Since the beginning, the brand has operated independently, not falling underneath the broader structure of one of the larger name groups. What is even more unique about this brand is that they are still owned and operated by the original family, being in the third generation of continuous operation with Elie Bernheim, the grandson of Raymond Weil, leading as the CEO. All of this is well and good, but there was ultimately a reason for Raymond Weil being overlooked, as for years it was a name that was barely ever on the radar for enthusiasts, since most of the designs that they made catered to casual buyers rather than trying to appeal to enthusiasts. In the past few years, you can start to get a sense of a shift within the brand, led by the product offering that has hinted at an aim to show it's more serious as a player in the enthusiast market and on the broader horological stage. There have been several product releases that have made me reframe my opinion about Raymond Weil. The most notable was probably the release back in 2023 with the Millesime collection. These classic looking sector dials have managed to carve out a lane in that $1,500 to $2,000 category. Although style and design are ultimately subjective, it is hard to argue against the fact that these are pretty sharp looking pieces that breathe new life into the brand. Apart from the broader collection appeal, they have also captured the attention of legacy tastemakers in the industry, winning a category in 2023's GPHG Awards, the Oscars of watchmaking. What they specifically won was the Challenge category. And for those not familiar with the different categories and what they mean, the Challenge category refers to the top voted on watch under $2,000 and was voted on among several hundred Academy members, with the prize that year going to the Millesime Small Seconds. In 2024, they expanded this line with new dial colors. Also, you saw the introduction of new complications, including moon phases, which look very sharp, and chronographs. We did also see some signs years ago too, with pieces like the Maestro collection, specifically their moon phases always catching my eye, since they were really attractive propositions for that sub $2,000 price, as well as the Freelancer skeleton. Now, the looks of the Freelancer skeleton are not going to be for everyone, as it does make a dramatic statement on the wrist with its mixed case materials of bronze and steel. What made this watch separate though was how it was able to oppose the concept of more attainable skeleton watches that take an existing movement and superficially do the bare minimum to make a skeleton design work. In Raymond Weil's case, what they did is they partnered with Sellita to create a custom caliber for the use case, making it one of the most attainable, authentic skeleton watches on the market. The Freelancer line is also a playground for other compelling mechanical offerings, including a flyback chronograph, being one of the few brands that has a flyback under $5,000 retail. But all right, guys, that is my video here today, looking at 4 attainable Swiss watch brands that I feel maybe don't get the attention that they rightfully should deserve, or maybe have shifted the way that they've been making products and are trying to focus more on enthusiast buyers than they were in the years past. Have you guys ever purchased a watch from one of these brands? What is your take as an owner? Love to see some comments down below. Also, if you guys did enjoy the video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, hit the bell icon. I know I throw that in at the end of every single video, but that really does help out the channel a lot. And speaking of helping out the channel a lot, if you want to help us keep doing what we're doing here, a great place to do that is on teddybalthastar.com. We are an authorized dealer of over 35 brands, so if you are in the market for a watch, we'd absolutely love to have your business. We know you can buy a watch in a lot of different places nowadays, but it allows us to keep doing what we're doing here, and we love what we do. So reach out to us. We'd love to help you out with your future watch. But guys, thank you again so much for watching. Be well, and I will see you all very soon.